Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're all having a very merry Christmas month. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas is a classic Seussian story, spawning many adaptations since its publication. Of course, there's the book itself, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, its 1966 animated television special that was narrated by Boris Karloff, along with its sequels, the 2018 animated reboot, and probably most famously, the 2000 live-action film starring Jim Carrey in the lead role. But did you know that that last adaptation inspired another film in recent times? That being the 2022 slasher movie, The Mean One. It's exactly what it sounds like. I don't think we necessarily needed a slasher movie based on the 2000 Grinch film. That movie is scary enough as it is as far as I'm concerned. But you know, filmmakers have other ideas. This movie will have a familiar atmosphere and style and even have some well-known actors in it. My hopes aren't the highest for this review, but we'll see how it goes. Without further ado, on with the review.
One selection box god. I'm the selection box god. All these other boys fraud. They just eat the one bar, but I eat them all. I'm the selection box god.
The movie opens with a standard Dr. Seuss movie narration, set in a town called Newville. Cindy You-Know-Who, I assume that being Cindy Lou Who, defeats the Grinch with kindness, causing his heart to grow 3 sizes. However, because this is a slasher movie, we have to get this cliche.
They loved their Christmas, those folks down in town. But what if I said, that's not how it went down?
Cindy's mother comes in and tries to fight the Grinch off, but she slips and falls on a broken ornament. This is the backstory for our protagonist, Cindy. 20 years later, she drives back home to Newville with her dad, Lou, to spend time with him and get closure for the film's previous events. On their way there though, they get pulled over by this guy, Detective Burke, for their car decorations.
Afternoon, folks.
Insert obligatory romantic interest character here. The dad does the typical parent attitude when a potential partner for their kid arrives shtick, and he acts kinda flippantly.
The therapist thinks it's time.
Dad.
Get some closure?
Oh my god, shut up or shoot me now.
PTSD.
I get that this is meant to be for laughs or to be endearing, but if I was Cindy, I would feel really embarrassed. Like, it's your kid's mental health and your wife died? Hello? They go to the family house as they plan on maybe selling it, and Cindy gets jump scared from looking in the fireplace and while having a nightmare that night. The next day, Cindy goes to a cafe where the mayor of Newville, Mayor McBean, is putting up re-election posters. I will note that the mayor in the film from 2000 is called Mayhew, because that's what this film is based on. Cindy comes across Detective Burke as well as Sheriff Hooper, the officer who dismissed the notion that the Christmas killer of Newville was a literal monster when Cindy was a child. We also learn through some exposition that the townspeople aren't really into the whole Christmas spirit thing, ironically being Grinches themselves in a metaphorical sense. Lou and Cindy put up their Christmas decorations that evening, and they seem to be relatively cheery despite the circumstances. It's nice to see that they do have a good relationship, despite everything that's happened to them. This is spoiled, however, as Cindy is locked outside when she goes to take out the trash. While she attempts to go back inside, Lou is killed via some crappy shaky cam shots that alternate between Cindy and the murder. We do get a longer shot of the implied final blow though, and we do get a body shot, so Lou is confirmed dead. Initially thinking it was a nightmare, Cindy wakes up in hospital to her horror. Mayor McBean comes to visit Cindy in hospital, and she insists that she will do whatever she can to solve the mystery of the Christmas killer. Later, Mayor McBean haggles Sheriff Hooper in a really sinister way, saying that she doesn't want Cindy to drudge up the town. Does she want Hooper to kill Cindy or catch the killer? What's being implied here? Upon returning home, Cindy sees a bloodstain on the floor, which she has to clean herself. This is just weird because, as far as I know, the forensics team would have cleaned everything up after inspecting the crime scene. While cleaning it herself, she finds a flower, which she traces the origin of to a mountaintop. Let's say that this forensics team were particularly neglectful for the sake of this scene then. While climbing the mountain, she falls into a small ravine and finds the wallet of a Walter Mulberry. She sees an innocent couple kiss under some mistletoe, but they're attacked by the Grinch. Cindy pelts the Grinch with rocks Ghostface style, causing him to retreat. The girl survives, but doesn't recall much of anything that happened, causing Cindy to panic and insist on a monster's existence. Hooper pulls her aside and scolds her, and his reaction to the blurry picture she managed to take of the Grinch did get a chuckle out of me.
I have proof.
What is this? Hellboy?
She doesn't give up despite not being taken seriously, and gives Burke the wallet she found before putting Grinch flies up. A group of creepy Santa cosplayers make a stop in Newville, and I swear that I recognize this poor bartender from somewhere. Any ideas, anyone? The cosplayers are only there to increase the death count, so the Grinch arrives and does a whole Christmas mime routine before killing them all with various appliances around the bar, as well as a candy cane that he brought with him. This seems to be his weapon of choice for this movie, akin to Freddy's glove or Jason's machete. Cindy sees a story about that day's murders on the news, before the Grinch breaks into her home and tries to kill her. He is scared off by a Doc Zeus, who explains to Cindy that his wife was killed by the Grinch on a previous Christmas, so he believes her claims of there being a monster in Newville. What's with the names, guys? It's really cheesy. Hooper is confronted by Cindy about the killings and a new witness, but he turns her away. Feeling sorry for her, Burke heads to the mountaintop and discovers the Grinch's lair. He finds a bunch of wallets belonging to missing people, along with some decomposing corpses. A reindeer Teddy starts playing Jingle Bells, alerting the Grinch, who has just arrived home with a fresh kill. There's a typical horror movie scene where Burke has to escape by evading the Grinch, first hiding behind a rock and throwing the toy far away to make a noise, and then hiding beneath a sheet after tripping. Shortly after escaping, he bumps into Doc, who gives him a cryptic warning in Susie and Rhyme.
Go home, lock yourself in, don't light a candle, don't sing a carol, no boxes or toys or bags or noise.
Burke and Cindy chill out in the garden outside and have a cheesy heart-to-heart about forgiveness, and how Sheriff Hooper is harsh, but is trying his best. I was really tempted to call them Burke and Hare then. Can you imagine? This is kind of the theme of the movie, by the way, forgiveness. Cindy has a dream where she and Burke are having a romantic shower, which quickly becomes a nightmare as the Grinch comes in to kill them. She then decides that she wants to kill the Grinch. I assume that's because she's realised that she has something to fight for now. She then begins training to the sound of a metal cover of Carol of the Bells. We have 3 horror cliches here: the shower scene, the nightmare fake out, and the training montage. The montage is really cheesily edited too. I feel like this is a really edgy Christmas time ad for sportswear or something. Back at the diner from earlier, the mean one sneaks in and kills what I assume is the manager trying to close up shop for the night. Doc spends the night in jail after Hooper catches him drunk driving, before Hooper tries to stop Mayor McBean from leaving town in vain. Burke reveals to Cindy that the wallets that they found all belong to missing hikers, who were all lured to the Grinch's lair by a hiking website owned by Mayor McBean. See, it was very obvious that something sinister was going on with that sheriff and mayor duo. Mayor McBean's car breaks down on her journey out of town, and it begins to play We Wish You a Merry Christmas. This will alert the Grinch to her whereabouts, of course, but she doesn't seem that upset about it through her acting.
Oh, no, stop. No.
She goes to check on the engine when the Grinch appears, and he kills her by decapitating her with her car's boot, or trunk if you're from the US. She does put up a good fight against the Grinch, but given her villainy, this is kind of comic in a horror movie fashion. Burke goes to the station to confront Hooper, who confesses that since the year Cindy's mother died, the Grinch returned every following Christmas to kill more residents of Newville. One day, Hooper found his hideout while looking for a girl named Stephanie, and I'll just let this scene speak for itself.
Oh my... Stephanie?
For one, Hooper has a really nonchalant reaction at first. Like, I couldn't help but laugh at his delayed reaction. Second of all, the Grinch is anthropophagus now, with an underground hideout, and he only comes out at a specific time. Is this sounding familiar to anyone, or is it just me? Anyways, Hooper tries to satiate the Grinch's hunger with animal meat, but the creature doesn't seem satisfied. So naturally, McBean and Hooper hatch a plan to keep the Grinch away from the Newville residents, with their hiker trapping website, and discouragement of Christmas decorations. Burke scolds Hooper for gaslighting Cindy and goes after the Grinch. We're in the final act of the movie here, so we kind of have to have a wild goose chase segment. I'm betting money that Doc and Hooper are going to die, one because he's sympathetic and the other for the opposite reason. Hooper goes after Burke and gives Doc the keys to his cell, so that he can alert Cindy and they can join the fight. Like I said, wild goose chase. Burke ends up getting caught in one of the Grinch's traps, but Hooper scares him off with a few gunshots before rescuing Burke. As part of some redemption arc, Hooper pursues the Grinch and gets killed in a cutaway shot. That's £5 for me from myself. The remaining 3 heroes return to Cindy's house and set an ambush for the Grinch, but he does his whole disappearing act. As you can tell from the lingering shots on Doc Zeus, he's attacked by the Grinch. This provokes Cindy to fight the Green Goblin, resulting in him being caught in one of his own traps and a lot of scuffling both inside and outside the house. Cindy begins to get the upper hand, but she notices that he has kept the Santa necklace that she gave him as a child. We get a bizarre flashback scene revealing that the Grinch's motive for his killing spree began when Cindy called him a monster, and the shot of him losing it looks very odd to me. I don't know if it's the filter or makeup or both, but it looks strangely cartoonish. Cindy forgives the Grinch, which is nice and all, and it fits in with the theme of forgiveness. But he did still go on a killing spree for 20 years, even if that initial death was an accident. And the entire reason he was in the house in the first place was to rob Cindy and her family. He gets his own comeuppance when his heart literally grows 3 sizes and explodes.
And now for our top story this evening, Mean One Mania.
No way. This is literally Cool Cat levels of editing. I swear that these are famous internet personas too. It is nice that the filmmakers wanted to show some appreciations for the fans and all. It appears that Doc didn't die as a result of his wounds, but Burke and Cindy are now a couple, and Newville is back to being full of Christmas cheer. And on that note, the film ends rather cheesily, but we get a mid-credit scene implying a woman has gotten a rather spooky package. This movie has kind of a familiar atmosphere. It's very gimmicky and tries to be all wink wink nudge nudge at the audience, but I didn't find it to be so brazen as Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Maybe that's because the Grinch's makeup wasn't just a Halloween mask, who knows? The acting is very hammy and not super emotive, especially from Sheriff Hooper. Other than the delayed reaction that I pointed out earlier, when Hooper first reunites with Cindy, his delivery isn't particularly moving.
Never got a reliable description of the man. It still haunts me.
I get that this is supposed to be kind of a bad movie, but they should try. As I've said in previous videos, you can't force so bad it's good. I will say that David Howard Thornton is definitely trying in his role. I know him as Art the Clown from the Terrify franchise, so I was kind of expecting him to do at least decently while playing this type of character. I also wondered a bit about the copyright of this movie. This is because they don't really make any direct references to the source material. More so wink wink nudge nudge puns and such, like Cindy You Know Who and Newville instead of Cindy Lou Who and Whoville. They don't even credit David Howard Thornton's character as the Grinch. He's credited as the mean one. Could they only get some copyright of the intellectual property? As I mentioned in my commentary segment, there are a lot of horror tropes in this movie. The shower scene, multiple nightmare fake-outs, the training montage, jump scares, and at first there are a lot of suspicious looking shots of Doc in the parking lot before he's revealed, and whether this was intentional or not, I interpreted this as a red herring killer at first. The effects were about on par with what I was expecting. They're pretty standard practical effects, and I think that they're perfectly reasonable. The ending of The Grinch was supposed to be kind of sympathetic, didn't really pull at my heartstrings, as although The Grinch in the film from 2000 had a tragic backstory, the one here just didn't really have that much humanity to him. I would say that this film is a solid 4 out of 10. I wouldn't say that I was disappointed by it because I got pretty much exactly what I was expecting from it, but would I watch it again? Probably not. Well, that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, everyone!
I'm the selection box god. All these other boys fraud. They just eat the one bar, but I eat them all. I'm the selection box god. All these other boys fraud. They just eat the one bar, but I eat them all. I'm the selection box god. All these other boys fraud. They just eat